The debt-free journey may appear to be a reasonable theory, but anyone can do it. And by anyone, I mean anyone. Even someone with tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. Whatever financial difficulties you are experiencing today, there is always a way out. Here are 3 of the fastest debt-to-freedom journeys of people who now owe $0. Maria Nedeva. Maria Nedeva teaches science and innovation dynamics and policy at a prestigious British business school. Professor Maria and her husband John, an educated and intelligent man, owed more than £100,000 on various loans and credit cards, due in part to a drop in business for her husband's consultancy firm. Though she did this for a few months, she could have become depressed and enraged for the rest of her life. She could as well blame herself for the rest of her life. She knew she couldn't and wouldn't carry this debt into her 50s after grieving the loss of her financial innocence. She was not about to limit her youngest son's life because his parents had taken their eyes off the ball. Her first step to her debt-free scream was to apply for an £80,000 consolidation loan secured against her home to pay off 7 different credit cards. This still left £20,000 to pay on other credit cards. As Henry Wheeler said, debt is like any other trap, easy enough to get into, but hard enough to get out of. To address this, they established a budget for very basic, frugal living expenses, reduced all spending to the bare minimum, and applied any excess income to her payments. She claims the turning point came when she realized that no payment is too small to have an effect. Her lowest loan payment was only £4.87. However, it all added up, and they were debt-free 3 years later. Maria Nedeva is now the founder of The Money Principle, a personal finance website where she teaches people in financial distress how to build long-term wealth. Never Bet on Red, How to Pay Off Debt and Live Debt-Free is another of her books. Her website provides real-life wealth-building strategies based on her financial understanding, which enabled her to pay off £100,000 in consumer debt in just 3 years. If you're learning a lot from these stories, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future uploads. If you think Maria was the only one to exceed a $50,000 debt, wait till we tell you about Stephanie Benedetti, who accrued a whopping $90,000 debt. Keep watching. Carrie Smith. Despite being good with money, a painful divorce left Carrie then $14,000 or £9,200 in debt, something she never expected to happen at her age. She was determined, however, not to let this deter her from joining the debt-free community. She realized that her credit card debts were the most expensive because of the high interest rates, so she tackled them first. She set a goal of paying off her car loan and credit cards, which totaled over $14,000 in the next 18 months.
18 months.
This would imply that she would have to pay $800 per month in payments. So, she changed her attitude toward money, and she cut any expenses that weren't necessary for survival and her debt-free journey. She also used free debt payment tools to help her create a payment schedule, and most importantly, she made sacrifices. She gave up cable TV, gym memberships, salon visits, vacations, outings, and movies. She also started doing freelance writing to supplement her income. 4 years later, she is entirely debt-free, running her own business, and has found someone who makes her happier than she has ever been. Carrie Smith is now a freelance blogger and solopreneur who writes about personal finance for Ready for Zero, a free online debt reduction tool. More of her writing can be found at Careful Sense, where she assists small businesses and freelancers create their own freedom stories. Her work has appeared in the Huffington Post, Glamour magazine, Yahoo, Finance, and other business publications. Stephanie Benedetti. Benedetti was in a lot of debt after finishing her undergraduate and master's programs. Stephanie discovered she owed $90,000 or £60,000. Most of this was due to student loans and approximately $9,000 or £6,000 in credit card debt. Stephanie decided to alter her lifestyle to reduce her debt and ultimately become debt-free. She moved in with a roommate, canceled her cable subscription, and reduced all other expenses to the bare necessities. Benedetti met her husband, Rob, 2 years later, and everything changed. He was completely focused on his financial future. She observes, Rob encouraged her to save and work toward paying off her student loans while continuing to save for a house. Benedetti could reduce her living expenses by consolidating bills such as rent and utilities with the assistance of her husband. She also reduced her gym membership and other costs for which there were free alternatives. She supplemented her income by doing odd jobs like mystery shopping and babysitting. These small changes added up, and before she knew it, she could spend $2,000 or £1,300 monthly on debt repayment. She was debt-free in no time and subsequently became a member of the debt-free community and has even appeared on talk shows to discuss her accomplishments. Stephanie Benedetti now works for a nonprofit in Washington, D.C., and while she's now a savvy saver, she wasn't always. As you've learned, no matter how dire your situation may be, there's always hope. If you need expert opinions on how to rise above your debt burden, we suggest this video, Why Most People Give Up on Becoming Debt-Free and How to Avoid That. We hope you find it helpful. Thank you for watching this video. We hope to see you again.